start off just with a comment about this past weekend's game?
Yeah, I thought definitely was the biggest win that we've had since we've been here for now short 2 years. Football players, they played extremely hard, and that's what all we've been trying to get them to do is just play for 60 minutes, and they did that. I thought the game plans was pretty solid, offense, defense, as well as special teams, and when you work hard and you put work in throughout the week, and your team execute, it does make you feel good. I thought we capitalized on their turnovers. We forced 5. And I think we scored off of 4. The last one was in the end of the game. So I think we capitalized on their turnovers, on their mistakes. And as a good football team, when you want to be a good football team, when you start capitalizing on people's mistakes, they always say, well, good football teams make you pay. So we kind of made them pay. So I'm hoping we become a good football team.
And you're doing it on the road.
Yeah, man. This is the 5th straight one on the road. And it started the 3 games in 12 days. Because we knew this was going to be our stretch, but I'm happy it came after the bye week, so we was able to get a little healthy. We was able to get some rest and get away from football. So we knew we was going to have 3 games in 12 days. So we let's bring it. We're working hard in the weight room. We're strong enough where we'll be able to handle it, and we like this challenge. And then we got our little new thing we're going with bringing that hammer. So we're going to just keep going hard with it.
Do you think you get that win last week without that bye week to get rested up and scheme work?
I like to think we would. I think if the players play like that, it doesn't matter if you have a bye week or a game every day. When they give you that type of effort, you're gonna win more than you lose. If a team commits 12 to 13 penalties and give you 5 turnovers, you should win a football game. And I'm just happy that we didn't match that type of play, and we were able to capitalize on their mistakes.
We were just trying to figure probably maybe one of the top 10 football wins in school history. When that kind of thing happens, and last season wasn't what you wanted, how do you think it changes the perception around the program? To beat a big school.
Well, we talked about that before it happened, and I asked them this question. I said, "How are you gonna feel when we shock people and beat South Carolina State?" I just asked them, and they kind of smiled. I'm a big dreamer. I'm one of them guys who I think you put it out in the atmosphere. Whatever you put out is what you're gonna get back. And they just kind of smiled. I said, don't be surprised. I said, we're working hard, and we're gonna game plan. And then, but are you gonna come back and go to workouts on Tuesday? Are you gonna go to class? Are you gonna go to study hall? Are you gonna give me maximum effort in practice? That's what I want to know. If you do those things after you get a big win like that, then we have turned the corner as a football program. But if you come and think, you're the best thing since sliced bread, then we're probably gonna take a step backwards. But all of those things are part of a process when you're building a football program. So I keep talking about it because I don't want to go backwards. If we do, then I know what I need to do to change that. But I sure hope we don't go backwards. So I'll see today, I'll get the roll, workouts today. Coaches did class checks this morning. I'll make sure everybody was in class. And then when we could hit that practice field at 4 o'clock, I just need maximum effort flying around. If they doing those things, then I'll say we did turn the corner. Now let's go get after Morgan State.
Was there any kind of particular challenge at halftime when you had a 30-point second quarter and you go in there and address the team?
No, because what we do is make adjustments. I don't care what the score is. I told them, get down there, sit down, don't say nothing. I grabbed a couple of the leaders, Arthur Goforth or John Drew. I said, when you get in the locker room, I don't want nobody talking. I want them to sit down, they want to be quiet, wait for the coaches to come in and make the adjustments. That's what we do at halftime. I don't want no high fives. I don't want, because it's 2 halves every game. Just like we put 30 on, they can come and get 30 in the third quarter if we're not focused. So I just love that attitude, because when I walk in that locker room, you can almost hear a pin drop. And I'm like, expect to be in this situation, guys. And they listened to the adjustments. We made a lot of adjustments at halftime, trying to corral that quarterback from breaking containment, because John Drew was getting such a push up the middle. Him and Aaron Wallace, them guys was getting such a push that the quarterback was funneling outside, and he was getting all their positive yardage. So we made some little adjustments to that, and then we kind of stopped that in the second half, and they didn't score in the second half. And then from an offensive standpoint, when you up, you don't want to snap the ball really fast. You want to kind of slow your tempo down a little bit. You want to run the ball a little bit. But I'm trying to win. I'm not trying to just bust a scoreboard. I want to win the football games. So we knew, our third down conversion was going to be a little miscued because we had to run the ball and punt. When I got a 20, 30-point lead, I'm not trying to, be too fancy. I want to win football games.
So it sounds like you're trying to get your team to really embrace your whole demeanor, because even when you was losing something last year, you come in here, media events, and you're the same guy. Even when you win,
I don't change. I mean, cause if I be something I'm not, then I'm gonna forget, and then I'm gonna be really screwed up. We gotta keep it even keel, and I really try to keep it. I don't get too high, I don't get too low. I'm gonna discipline you if you do wrong, then I'm gonna pick you back up. You do well, I'm gonna pat you on the back, say, man, great job. Then we're gonna go back to work. So the same with coaching, the same with my demeanor, and just keeping that even keel, but being aggressive. Bringing that hammer. I'm gonna keep talking about bringing that hammer because that's our little deal with the sledgehammer right now. It's like, just basically bring your hard head. Come to work hard every single time. Whether you lifting weights, whether you in study hall, whether you in the class, whether you in practice, whether you in the game, just work your hardest. And if you do those things in life as a man, you have a great family one day. You have to be very successful, and then you might pick up a championship ring along the way. So we're gonna keep doing it the same way.
Is it coming off a bye week to go into an NFL venue and have a performance like that? Does it speak to the guys' maturity at all, like growing up?
I think they're starting to understand, because I'm a firm believer that players are gonna follow your lead as a coach. If you're a leader, you're a coach, they're gonna follow your lead. So it's important for me to lead the right way, and it's the same approach. Whether we're playing in the backyard, Hillside High School, Lucas Oil Stadium, Old Kelly Riddick, it's going to be the same approach. On Friday, I'm glad we were able to go Friday. I told the guys to bring your phones, take all your pictures now, get it out of the way, get the oohs and the ahs out of the way, because on Saturday, when we're walking here on Saturday, it's a business trip. I know it's a classic, there's a lot of things going on, but we were on a business trip. And my guys took care of their business on Saturday. I'm really proud of them for that.
Get some unfinished business against Morgan State. Now talk about
Wow.
trying to right or wrong.
I tell you what, man. 52-3. They took us outside the shed and then they whipped us pretty good. And it was nothing pretty about that game. I think we put the ball on the ground 8 times. They just scored at will. They just did whatever they wanted to do to us. And I just. That's one of them games I just threw the film away because that just wasn't our football. That was not indicative of nothing we've done, since we've been here. But it really opened my eyes, and I think I changed after that loss. I felt like I got beat up, So they're a good football team. They're a very good defensive football team, and they run the ball well. They're a physical team. That's what they do. They're gonna stop the run. They're gonna run the ball. They're gonna be physical. And they're going to get after it. So, again, it's one of those deals where they pushed us around a little bit last year, did whatever they wanted to do to us. So, we like to think we've been working hard. We've been lifted. We've been getting stronger. We like to know we know the system a little better. So it's going to be another awesome gauge for us to see where we are as a football program and to go up to a homecoming. They invited us up. So we're excited to go to homecoming. And then personally, I'm excited to go to the state of Maryland. I haven't coached in Maryland since 2003, so that's home for me. And my whole family will be there. My high school coaches will be there, and my college quarterback coach, he's the director of something at Morgan State. He's like one of those high-profile guys. So he's a retired colonel, so he'll be at the game. So I'm excited to get back to the state of Maryland and go against Morgan State. But you're right, it is a little unfinished business because they whipped us pretty good.
Do you have to go back to your playing days at Bowie for when you lost real badly and then came back and beat somebody the next season, or has it happened during your coaching career?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it happened during my coaching career. I pretty much, anytime I got whipped pretty good, I think we kind of avenged most of those. I know last one comes to mind, Mississippi Valley State, when I was at Prairie View. They beat us for homecoming. It was bad. I want to say like 56-14, and then I think we hung 50 on them the next year. So it was bad, man. And so it's I don't play. I just got to try to motivate and get the guys in positions.
Coach Hill Healy said he didn't pick you guys for homecoming. Is that accurate? He said it's more the university tradition type thing.
I don't know. They come to me and ask me would I like this game for homecoming, so I go with that. I know me and Don played against each other in college. He was at Virginia Union when I was at Bowie State, so we actually know we're really good friends. Same fraternity. When he was online, I went down to see him and help him get into the fraternity. I helped him pretty nice. And, we're really good friends. Good friends. So, and I'm looking forward to it.
You're starting to get votes in national polls this week. You're in the top 10s of the Black College polls. How's that make
That's
you?
pretty cool.
Make you feel?
I don't really look at those
Got
things
that.
until November. I always learn that it ain't about the early press, it's about the late press. I want to be talked about in November. I hope we having these conversations in November. It's fun right now. You want to garner fan support and things like that. It's pretty cool, but it don't count till November. If they talking about you in November, then you done did some things right the first 3 months, and then you got a chance to really earn some hardware. And for me, at this point in my career, it's about championships. Everything is about rings. I like to get rings. I want championships, and that's it. Everything else is, I've done a lot of things. It's my 19 years as head coach, so I've done a lot. I've been moderately successful with turning programs around. But now, for me, it's about championships. So you don't win championships until November, December. So that's what I'm shooting for.
With all these consecutive games away from home, you got Savannah State, South Carolina State, a couple of wins there. How has this team grown on the road?
I like road games because personally, everything is so structured. You got the guys with you. They're in hotels. We're eating together. We're talking together. We're on bus rides together. We're watching movies together. I personally, it ain't long bus rides, but but I enjoy away games because that's when you really bond. And then you start seeing, the brotherhood form. Then, hey, I got your back, you got my back. Then all of a sudden, oh man, then all of a sudden you get out on the field and, you make a play, you happy for your teammates' success. There's, something that I wanted to say that I didn't say earlier about my team, Tyrone Jackson and Malik Cromartie. Malik had 2 interceptions in the first half, and then he had some respiratory issues. He had to get IVs, he was out of it. And Tyrone, he thought he broke his forearm. He went to the hospital. Both of those guys came back in the fourth quarter with like 2 or 3 minutes left, buckled up, trying to get on the field. To me, that told me so much about my football team that I'm sitting here like, wow. I looked them in the eye and said, man, we got this one. Y'all don't have to go. They wanted to go back in. They wanted to be on the field. Those are seniors. They wanted to experience that win on the field, but they could have easily wrapped themselves up, game over with, celebrated. They wanted to get back on the field. But that's that bringing that hammer. That's playing for 60 minutes. And that told me something about my football team. So that I had a feeling in my heart. When I saw them two, I'm like, wow. I talked to them and I'm like, wow. This could be a really special year, but we got a lot of work ahead of us, but it can be special.
Do you want your guys to talk about 52-3 last year, or you want them to?
Yeah, they beat the dog mess out of us. I want them to know about that because we didn't do anything right. Just like when we played Savannah State. I said, we didn't watch this year. We didn't watch Savannah State this year.
Right.
We only watched last year's film because it was like, really, you're much better than this. And then what Morgan State, but we got to watch Morgan this year because they doing some really special things. We won't pull that stunt because I guess because Savannah played Florida State and Oklahoma State, we wasn't going to get anything out of that.
Right.
But no, they need to know, they need to watch it, they need to understand because if we go with a big head, and we think we're bigger and badder than what we are, and they're going to see that could happen again, especially for their homecoming.
How much you able to see all this? But Duke and North Carolina State all had big wins on the same day that you will get. And I guess everybody that when they got to church on Sunday to work on Monday were talking about football.
Yeah.
How much does that rub off?
It's exciting. It is the triangle is exciting right now. The football is exciting, and I'm glad to be a part of it. It's a small part, but it's still our part. We're not an embarrassment to the triangle right now. And we're not an embarrassment to our fans and our alums. And I think that does excite because some of those same fans and alums go to church with the Dukes and the North Carolina States, and they could say something. Some of our fans could get into that conversation as well because it was a huge win for us. So it is exciting, and I just hopefully, as a coach, I can keep my guys focused. I can keep them bringing a hammer and staying on course. And if they do that, and we continue to get the play out of Jordan Reed at quarterback, man, I like our chances down the stretch because when you got a good trigger man, anything can happen. Because he makes up for inaccuracies. We get some pressure, man. Jordan come out there, he's just doing this little flick thing to offer lately. And them two on the same page, it's like the pressure breakdown, they cover them, and then linebackers 15 yards downfield, and he'll look at Arthur and just flick it to him, 20 yards down the field, completion.
That's just Jordan being
That's
Jordan.
just Jordan making the play. You know, and that's what, and if you guys remember, that was my only concern with him, his pocket presence. And like I said last week, he proved me wrong, and he keep proving me wrong. And he has great pocket presence. He knows what everybody is on every single passing play, and that's him being in the system, because he's like an honor student, so he's very, very smart. And you got a quarterback that can run. He's legitimate 4'6". He got a strong, powerful arm, and he got very good grades. That's what you want in this type of offense, and I'm happy. I'm really happy.